Hi, and welcome back to the supplemental episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, I'm going to do a little continuation of an idea from my episode 200. Alright? Now, in episode 200, I had the concept, or sort of the concept, that what would it be like to make a custom episode? Okay? So I thought about then, toyed with the idea. So this is sort of my experimental episode of that, and just see what it would be kind of like. And so I thought, okay, well, why don't we make one and just to see how and where I would go with that and that kind of stuff. So the idea originally spawned from the fact that there's a lot of things that I couldn't do on YouTube that I could probably do somewhere else or do in a different platform. And so one of the thoughts was is that, well, what if I could make a custom episode? So normally I have episodes which are generally made for just about anyone and kind of needs that meets the the general purpose of or curiosity and educational factor, if you will, for just about any person that's sort of that. But what happens if I could make an episode specifically for one particular person or tailored toward one particular person? And so this concept kind of came to me and thought, okay, well, yeah, I could probably do something like that. So, when I get to the to a subscriber tier where I could get like a custom episode, like so I learn some information about you, get some information about what you like, some animes that you've watched, some of your personal tastes that are not necessarily anime, some other popular culture sort of things, maybe the type of environment that you kind of grew up in, that kind of stuff. What were you doing at certain years and that kind of stuff. That kind of sort of idea, and then we can generate something from that. Okay. So I could thought of that, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I should just make one that's sort of a sample idea, just see where I'll take that, and where it'll go. So I thought, well, who could be my most likely victim for the first touch one? So I thought, you know what, I will make, kind of really easy and option. I will pick good old Johnny over at the Happy Console Gamer. And that's it. I've known Johnny for a while, so I thought, oh yeah, well, what happens if I could make him a custom episode? So this would be if this was you, what a custom episode could be possibly be about, and this is what the things I might be able to do in the case of a custom episode. Okay, so Johnny, this one's for you. So I know that a lot of people who follow Happy Console Gamer know that he's a pretty big fan of Ys. Okay. And again, it's one of the very first sort of games that sort of came out, especially in the era of the PC Engine, the Book of Ys, and it was really a pretty big popular because, as I said, in terms of a beginning of an RPG kind of type of thing, that that was really the beginning of a lot of that kind of stuff at that time. So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to go through my collection and I'm going to look through a few things that are like Ys related, okay? And that's sort of what the same thing that I would do if, back in the day when I used to run the anime store, right? If I knew that, you were a fan of, let's say, a show like Ys, then I would sort of, think of other things that you might be interested in that are related to Ys, okay? So I went through my collection and I decided, and I pulled out a bunch of Ys CDs, okay? So, he can probably go through his collection to make sure that he has a couple of these different ones. And if he doesn't, then he's got a little checklist of things to do. Okay? So here I have the first one here. This one is called the Ys Perfect Collection. Okay? So this one has, basically a bunch of the songs and that kind of stuff. It's dedicated for Ys, the Famicom version. Okay? What's really neat about it is it does have a bunch of different range of versions, but most importantly, it has some vocal versions. Okay, Alone Battle, Endless History, and it's all done by the JDK band. Okay, which is really kind of neat for this one. So this is really kind of good because normally, if you think on the Famicom, there was no CD-ROM or anything like that, or any sort of digitization, so you couldn't put singing on a Super Famicom. But so what they've done is they rearranged it and put it onto this CD. So this really makes it kind of really cool that you can actually have an actual singing theme song released on this one. Okay. Okay. The next one is this one here. Okay. This one is called the Symphony of East and 95. Okay, so this is, can you imagine? You can hear the sort of MIDI sound that you get on a Super Nintendo. Now you can actually now hear all those songs and that kind of stuff played out using a real orchestra. Okay, so they've basically taken I don't remember whose orchestra they used, but they've got different things from East, Fina's song and the final battles and that kind of stuff, all done in a symphony or using an orchestra. So that's a kind of a neat way to do something there. Okay, this is another one here. Okay, this one is called this is the East 5 soundtrack. Okay, and again, also the works are done by the JDK band, and again there's also some vocal versions down on here, and there's even a karaoke version of was it Brand New Memories, was the song, and they got a karaoke version on there in case you want to sing along with it. That's for East 5. Okay. This is another really interesting one. Okay, this one is called the Lilia from East. Okay, so this one is basically the voice VA. Okay, so you can see by the she does basically different songs like this stuff. Kotono Mitsusushi. Okay, they do that, and then they also have a quartet, which is the Hikaru Mino Quartet. Doing the music and that kind of stuff, and then so this is a vocal version of the songs and that kind of stuff done by her, and that's a really kind of a cool version there, right? Okay, now this one is the standard East soundtrack, volume. Let's see, original game soundtrack. Okay, from East. Okay, plus there's an arranged version of East as well as on this one too. So basically. The difference between having the original soundtrack is the original soundtrack is basically made based off of the FM MIDI sound that's coming off of the game, and then the arranged ones are the ones that they basically will take it and they'll change use the same stuff, but they'll change an arrangement with it, either using different instruments, different equipment, using a real band, for example, and that kind of stuff, and they'll rearrange and make a new version of the song using that. And sometimes those ones really flesh themselves up because obviously 8-bit MIDI was pretty archaic from that point of view, right? So that's another version of that one. There's another one here called the East Music Provincialism. Okay, so there's another soundtrack kind of thing for East. Again, the music and that kind of stuff was done from the JDK band, or factory or whatever it is, for that East. So that's kind of a nice range version of that one. And then this is the last one I got here that I kind of find out. This is the East Dramatic Concert. Okay, so again, a whole bunch of various different songs from the East and different themes, including Fina's theme and Lilith's theme, all done by the Famicom Sound Team JDK. Again, done also in a symphonic orchestra. So again, more real band real orchestral version of the various different songs of East on this one. Okay. And right, so I mean, I can go through different things that I have of East and whatnot. Like I said, I've already showed on our stream that we did together. I brought out the East Laserdisc set when he came over and have a visit. But I have a special gift for him next. So the next time I come up, and see you there, Johnny, I'll give you these ones. But one special thing that I figured, you must be the right person to give it to, is I found and pulled out my original SVHS masters for the fan sub version of East here. Okay, so again, next time I see you, you can have these ones. And like I said, when we did the fan subs of this one, again, we took the Laserdiscs and basically applied using the titling system, applied the subtitles in real time and record them onto these VHS cassettes. And then basically any of the fan subs that we sent and made out to people, we made copies off of these ones and then mailed them out to different people. So that's again all those people who went and did the subscription boxes and that kind of stuff. You got copies of this the same way that we did them back in 1985 or whatever, and 1995 all the way to 95 and into the 2000s. That's how we distributed fan subs. We had to actually take a physical copy of this thing from here, record it onto another tape, in real time. So it takes us 2 hours to play one of these tapes and record it onto another tape, right? Because it's all real time. There's no fast dubbing or anything like that. And then we'd have to record it, and then once it's then recorded, we have to pack it up, put some postage on it, and then send it to you. And then when it arrives, then you can take this tape, put it into your VCR, and then you could actually play it and then actually watch the anime. Until then, there was really no way you could watch East, for example, without actually having a physical tape like this to put into your VCR to play it. There was no streaming or no downloading or anything like that. It just wasn't fast enough. The storage wasn't big enough. Just a whole bunch of things just were not in place for you to physically do that. So again, Johnny, next time you're in, get you one of those, okay? Also, I know that because you're a big fan of different sort of this kind of RPG type of game and that kind of stuff. Another really popular anime and game that came out at that time was this particular one for the PC Engine. This is the Record of Lodooss Wars, okay? For the this particular version is for the PC Engine. Now, I always like this one because I always think that when I think of the Record of Lodooss Wars, it's like the most representative anime of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, because when we go and we play Dungeons and Dragons, when you look at the covers of let's say the Monster Manual and things like the Dungeon Master's Guide and that kind of stuff, and you see all the different manuals, the Thief Manual, and things like that. You always think, there's very very stereotypical things that you think about all the various different characters and different things about Dungeons and Dragons, and I think Lodooss Wars, although it may seem kind of really tropey, if you will, it really represents it really well. The young sort of inexperienced hero has been the leader. You got the attractive female elf character that that has the the ability to control and listen to nature and use nature, and then you got the hot-headed dwarf that also doesn't like the elves, and that kind of thing. I got the shifty-eyed thief trying to looking after himself more, and greed and that kind of stuff, and that sometimes gets the party in trouble and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got the kind of sort of frail sort of magic user, if you will, and but he has really powerful spells and that kind of stuff and whatnot, and probably the wiser of all the people in the group too, right? So those are type of things that you would kind of expect in a a D&D party. And so so I just came across this and again, the thing that reminded me is that right now the game Langrisser Mobile is right now replaying the Record of Lodooss Wars crossover. So you can imagine playing Warsong or Langrisser on the Sega Genesis, and then all of a sudden now we're having the Record of Lodooss Wars characters, Deedlit, Parn, Ashram, and Puritas. Okay, those characters are now getting mixed into the Warsong storyline and characters and that kind of stuff, and so they can use them to work together and whatever, and do different missions and that kind of stuff on that. So right now that's available on Langrisser Mobile, and so I decided to pull that up, and so that sort of reminded me because I said I'm still working on my character Deedlit as well, because I summoned her the first time. When I was doing the summing for that game. I don't have Ashram yet, but I may try some of him. It's hard to say because I know I do have to save up for a few other things upcoming and whatnot. You know, because there are some some good meta characters coming up that I'll probably need to get, namely the Lolly Jessica. I need to get her eventually soon. So, you know, the Genesis of Light, because she's one of the meta characters that are new in the new version. So I'll have to get that. But yeah, so I decided, so as you say, and again, like I made a mention in my previous episode, this one neat about the Langrisser is that they really is made suited for the waifu collecting. Okay, one of the things that you can get actually on the Deedlit character is that she has a nature wedding dress thing that you can get. So that's the sort of the ultimate of waifu costumes that you can get put on Deedlit for this game. So that's kind of neat. Anyway, on a sidetrack, of course. So the other thing I wanted to do is for you is I wanted to also point out that there's some other stuff that's available for Record of Lodooss Wars, and one of the things that that came to mind was I have this book for Record of Lodooss Wars. This is the book called Antenum by was it Yokota Itsubushi, okay? And he's the one that this is a really expensive book. I mean, I'm looking at the back pricing on the thing. It's like 7,600 yen. So, I mean, even when I first bought this book, I mean, this is like $76 US just to get it now. And I hate to see how much this thing's worth now. Jesus Christ. But anyway, so it comes in a neat little slip, so it comes like a book like that, and then it comes the actual thing slips out of the sleeve like this. Okay, so there's a big sort of an eye there, and it reveals a picture that looks like that. Okay, and this is what was really one of the really nicest art books for Record of Lodooss Wars and his kind of artwork, right? So very very soft watercolor type of things like that, and a lot of the pictures used for like the CD covers and that kind of stuff. There's really there's that one there for Deedlit characters. There's two elves, the kind of character like that. Very very nice, soft pictures and that kind of stuff. There's a cute picture of them together. I know that's the picture for one of the CD image CDs, if I remember right. Just gotta flip ahead. Yeah, see, very very light pencil work and that kind of stuff, and whatnot that he does for that kind of thing. Nice picture of Deedlit Empire in there. Before they started doing the thing for Marifat. See, he even does his penciling works and that kind of stuff as well. And I'll just flip ahead just to get some other stuff, right? God, I would like to follow lots of nice pictures of Deedlit in here. The watercolors is it. Again, I suppose if I had more time, I would probably flip through this book, a little bit more slowly and use the overhead cam to flip this for you. But since it's just a sort of sort of a quick sort of episode, I won't do that today. But again, if you're interested in more than what I can do that, I can flip through the pages. Yeah, that's the first CD soundtrack for the audio cassette there. Flip through them in a little bit in a slower fashion for you. But again, that's a really pretty cool book if you get your hands on it. Again, it's not going to be a cheap book, that's for sure. But I mean, if you ever get your hands on it, definitely it's definitely one of the ones that's definitely worth collecting. And okay. So that's just sort of a little quick sort of the go through of what a particular episode might be about. I'm thinking probably around stories try to get around that 30-minute mark or whatever of different sort of content that and how it sort of relates and how kind of things that might be suitable specifically for you. Now again, in this format, I might be able to, as I said, do things that I couldn't do on YouTube. So again, maybe there's some music on these soundtracks that would be useful. I could put on and not have to worry about DMC striking and that kind of stuff. Because as I said, I'm going to be delivering these episodes specifically for you. And also, things like video content. So let's say, I know because I know I've got a lot of videos that have video restrictions put on them. For example, anything again, usually anything having to do with music. For example, I had a lot of problems trying to show you the music videos for, let's say, I'm trying to think of the Street Fighter song for the Street Fighter 2 movie, animated movie. I had problems with that one. The Gundam Seed opening things up by Seesaw. That's heavily blocked. Final 5-star stories again, very that gets blocked. Some mobile police pat labor that gets blocked. So a lot of this stuff, if in a custom episode like this, where I can where I don't have to post the thing on YouTube, I can do something more and actually post them directly and actually show you them properly using this format. So that's just sort of a kind of an idea, and this is sort of a sample that I can do. Okay. So anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this, Johnny. And again, if if we get to another one, that chance, or some more stuff, then I might make another one. Who knows? Maybe when I get to to another goal, right? All right. So hope you enjoyed this, and if you enjoyed it, we'll try to do this again next time. All right. So until then, see you again.